Wow, Wednesday. So I'm so happy to be connected with everyone. Um, where is everybody from? Maybe you could write that in the chat box right now. Where are you from? Which city are you connecting in from? It's wonderful that you're here for a live session. It's wonderful that you're interested in this live session and you've taken precious time for your morning. And I have this very, very interesting Buddhist story today for you, which will help you understand why bad things happen to good people. This is something that has confused us from for a long period of time, right? A long period of time. Many times we've seen this in our lives that bad things happen to good people. People we know who are very nice people, who do all the good things, who tick all the boxes of the things to be done. They speak nicely, they look good, they're good people, but still bad things happen to good people. So here's a story, and it goes something like this. That long time ago, when Buddhism started spreading, okay, many people started joining the new way of life and found it very revolutionary for that time. Men joined, women also joined Buddhism and became bhikkhunis. So, long time ago, there were these two bhikkhunis who were sitting in their monastery and sitting and drinking tea, talking to each other, chatting. They were both enlightened. They were both people who had, experienced the vision and were changed now. One of them was the older bhikkhuni, another one was a very young and beautiful bhikkhuni. Her name was Itidasi. So the older bhikkhuni asked Itidasi, "My dear Itidasi, you are such a beautiful young girl. You are vibrant, you are hardworking, you are cheerful. Everything about you is lovely. What made you choose this life? I mean, for me, I have lived a long life of pain and suffering and rejection. And this life of a bhikkhuni, gave me freedom from all the struggles that I was going through. But what about you? You seem like you had the world for yourself. And how is it that you became a bhikkhuni, letting go of all that? So Itidasi looked at her and smiled and said, "Yes, you're right. I have been very fortunate to be born in a very wealthy family. My father was a wealthy merchant. I had servants around me. When the age was right, when I was just, I had just stepped into adulthood and the age was right, my father got me married to his friend's son. His friend was also a merchant. And she began narrating her story as to how the marriage was a very pompous affair. A lot of money was spent. Everybody was excited. Okay. And then she went to her in laws, and everybody was very happy with her behavior. She had brought a lot of honor to the family with her behavior. She was a caring wife, a caring daughter in law. She always served her in laws very well. She would, although there were many servants in the house, but she would always prepare her husband's food on her own and she would serve him, taking care of him, never eat before him, give a lot of devotion to him. But 2 months into the marriage, the husband then began complaining to his parents that he was not willing to stay with this girl, Itidasi, anymore. He could not accept her. Just the sight of her irritated him. He had not even consummated their marriage, he had not touched her. It's like, I don't know, I don't like her. His parents said, "But what is it? Tell us, what do you not like about her?" He said, no, I don't know. There's nothing that she's done wrong. It will be a lie if I say that she's done wrong or she's misbehaved or she's done anything inappropriate, but I cannot put my finger on it. But she just makes my blood boil. I cannot tolerate her. So I'm out of this. I don't want this at all. Either you send her to her parents' place or I'm leaving this household. Then the in-laws called Itidasi. They asked her, what is it, beta? You tell us. Be unafraid. Tell us if there's anything wrong that has happened. We just want to resolve this. And she said, I've been doing everything that was asked of me, that was needed of me. I did everything to the best of my capacity. I've not done anything wrong, I promise. So then the in-laws had no other option, but with lot of, sadness and embarrassment, they sent her back to her parents' house because otherwise the son would leave the house. That was the only way to hold the son back. So she went back to her father's house. When the father learned of it, father was very much in love with her. So he's like, okay, I'll take you back in my protection. Don't worry, I'll find you another person. Then he, waited for some time. He found her another husband. The second husband, when he met her, he was very excited to marry this girl. Okay, very, very happy. And then a nice ceremony happened. And then she went to her second husband's house. But 2 weeks into the marriage, he returned her back and said, I cannot live with your daughter at all. She cannot be my wife. I'm done with it. The father asked, why? What happened? Tell us. Tell me what happened. Why can you not live with her? What wrong has she done? I will explain it to her. I'll ask her to correct it. The second husband said, I don't know. I just can't put my finger on it. But I'm repulsed by her. I just can't take her. So I'm done. Please take her back. Then he returned her. Father was very disappointed and worried. And now thinking, oh my God, look, what are the people saying about me? There is such a lot of disgrace to the family. I have a daughter who's got divorced by two husbands, and she is young and beautiful. Here at home, there are so many people who must be thinking so many wrong things about her, cooking up theories as to why this is happening. So then, the next day, there was a beggar who came to their house to beg. The father of Itidasi told the beggar, you know what? You seem like, a man who must have had a good background earlier. The person said, yeah, I was from a good family, but, misfortune has brought me where I am. So the girl's father said, don't worry, today's your lucky day. You can marry my daughter, stay in this house. I will take care of you, but all you have to do is stay in this house. The beggar was really happy. Great, wow, I get a beautiful wife, I get a wealthy household, and I have to do nothing, just marry. He could not believe his life. Oh my God, what is this? So he got married to her. And then 2 days in the marriage, he went to the merchant and said, give me my begging bowl back. I'm going out of this house. The father of Itidasi, the merchant, said, why? What happened? What wrong has my daughter done? I cannot look at your daughter. I feel repulsed by her. And then he took his begging bowl and left. Father was totally distraught. What is this? What's wrong with my daughter? Why is everyone behaving like this? Why are all these people so cruel to her? What is wrong? If there was one man, I could have understood, but all three of them, is there something wrong with my daughter that I am not able to see? On the other hand, Itidasi was completely broken, returned not by one but three husbands. She felt that she was no good. She felt a lot of self-doubt. She felt extremely saddened, so broken that she wanted to die. She just wanted to die, and she was preparing to kill herself when she heard that there was someone at the door. She went to the door, and there a bhikkhuni had come. Okay, a lady monk had come, so to beg, and she came for some alms, and she had such a calm demeanor that the girl Itidasi felt that I think this is my calling. I have to find out that how this woman is so calm with nothing to call her belonging. This woman is so calm and relaxed. I want to figure it out. What is it? So then Itidasi went to her father and asked for his permission to become a bhikkhuni, to join the Buddhist monastery. The father told his daughter that I can't allow this to happen. Already a lot of shame has come to our family. Now you want to be a bhikkhuni and live among the live in the Buddhist monastery, give up your religion. How can you do that? You brought a lot of disgrace. Just let this end at this. She said, I was about to die. If I'm not allowed to be a bhikkhuni, you will not be able to stop that from happening. Sooner or later, there is so much of grief in my life that I'll not be able to take it, and I will die. And I will die earlier than I'm supposed to. So please allow me to renounce this world and become a bhikkhuni. You either have a daughter who's renounced this world, or you will have a dead daughter within a few days. So the father had no choice but then to give his permission, and then she became a bhikkhuni. She was ordained, she joined the monastery, she stayed over there, she contemplated, she meditated with single mindedness, with all the efforts, with all the discipline she had learned all her lifetime. She meditated and she attained enlightenment. And with enlightenment, she attained a special power as well, the ability to see in the past lives. And Itidasi narrated to her friend that when she looked into the past lives, she discovered, she was able to then see that she had long ago been born as a very handsome man in a rich family, because she was in that life a handsome man in a rich family, son of a merchant, having all the money to himself. He would often, philander around. He would often flirt around, have multiple relationships. Okay, he would promise women of relationships and marriage and not marry them. He would, lure women into his bed and then and those women would end up bringing up the disgrace to their own family. He would first lure them to bed for sexual relation and then not have long-term relations. And life was just all la la land. He would also have relationships with other men's wives, okay, and bring a lot of disgrace to other men. And men were distressed and upset with the things that he had done. The husbands of these women were very upset, because their marriage was shattered because of his activity. And for him, it was no big deal. For him, it was all okay. He was young, he was happy, he was having a good time. He really didn't mind, he really didn't care. And sometimes it had also happened that if he would have to murder somebody for his benefit, he would do that. When this lifetime was over, because of all this evil karma that he had done, he was born as an ox. Because he would not do hard work as an ox, he had to do hard work all the time. He was so obsessed with sexuality. In his lifetime as an ox, he was castrated so that he would not be able to have any children with anyone. He lived this painful life of an ox whose sexual desires were repressed. And he had to work hard, 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 and hard. Then there were a few more lifetimes that went by where he was born as animals in the farm, and he was castrated and made to work, sometimes born as a pig and castrated and then eaten for his meat, all because of his past karma. And all the people whom he had hurt as a handsome young man, all the men whom he had troubled as a handsome young man in his life as an animal, those men were reborn, and those men troubled him, castrated him, used him for their benefit. And then, when he was born as Itidasi, these men became husbands, first, second, third. And because there was such a lot of history in the past life of distrust, harm done to each other, whenever they saw Itidasi, they just never felt comfortable. Whenever they saw Itidasi, something in them started revolting. Something in them made them feel, don't trust her. Whenever she was too perfect or too nice, because they had been evil to her and they could not accept her perfectionism, they felt that as if there's something missing in them. As if something bad is going to happen if they stay with her. Because in the many lifetimes, either they had hurt her or she, as the as a merchant son, as a handsome man, had hurt them. And they were just not able to accept that Itidasi was going to give them a good relationship, that there could be a good relationship with Itidasi. They are afraid, repulsed, all because of the feelings that were inspired by the experiences of the past lives. And now that Itidasi could see it, she could make complete sense of it. She could make complete sense as to why they didn't want to touch her, why they didn't want to be in a consummated relationship with her, why they were afraid of her, why they hated her, why they felt inappropriate in her presence, because her perfectionism also made them feel very, very insufficient. And so Itidasi stated, but now as a bhikkhuni, I'm able to see it all come together. And I'm glad that I have used the Buddhist way of life to break out of this circle of harming others and getting harmed. I'm free. This story is a story that always reminds me that whatever goes around comes around. Whatever you give to other people, it comes back to you. If you've harmed other people, it will come back to you and bite you. If you trouble someone, it will come back to you. Now, past lives or re-lives was a great way of explaining why things happen in a certain way in the past in India. So Buddhism uses explanations of past life. Jainism uses explanations of past life. Hinduism, of course, uses explanations of past life to bring it all together and to emphasize as to why one is suffering the way one is suffering, why unfortunate things are happening to good people. Today's time, people may not be impressed with the explanations of past life. You're not going to be impressed, are you? Do write in the chat box if you're not impressed by the explanation of past life. But let's look at like this. Okay. Maybe there's no past life. Okay. But then still, everything that we choose leaves an impression on our mind, creates a neural memory. Now, that is science backed, is it not? Everything that we do creates a neural memory and changes who we are. We are not able to control all our facial expressions or all the things that happen to us or all the messages that we give to other people. We're not able to control all the messages that we give to other people. But the more we choose to behave in a certain way, the more that karma or that activity has an impression on our psyche, on our body, on our facial expression, on our body posture, and everything that we do. We get whatever we are. Okay, so I give people this example that if you want to break out of diabetes and reverse diabetes, then you have to change who you are, because who you were got you diabetes. Now, if you want to break out of diabetes, well, I'm sorry to break this to you, but you'll have to change who you are. That will happen gradually, but you have to be committed to changing who you are. Weight loss works exactly like that. There are people who lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. But the only way to remain in the place where you've lost weight and kept it off is to change who you are. When you become an athletic person, when you take up the identity of being an athletic person, change the person who you are, and the things that you are getting in your life will change. Bad things happen to good people because of the choices that very good people have made throughout their life. Maybe those are small, subtle choices which we may not recognize as bad choices or evil choices. We may not recognize them as something that is inappropriate. But all of those choices have an impact on our psyche, on our facial expression, on our repeated further choices in what we choose in our life, the people we bring in our life, the people we welcome in our life. So our past choices affect who we are. Our past choices lead way to what we are going to get in our life. So this was the story of Itidasi. Do let me know in the comment section how you like this story. Do you agree with this fact that good things can happen to bad people and good things can also happen to good people? Bad things can happen to good people and bad things can also happen to bad people. So good and bad things happen to us all the time. It is highly influenced by the choices that we make. Do you agree that our subtle choices influence what good and bad things happen to us? This is a Buddhist story or a Buddhist version or an explanation of how things possibly are. But what is your explanation? Do write that also in the chat box. What do you think? Why do bad things happen to good people? You've been very kind listening throughout. Thank you so much for your valuable time. This is Dr. Mayurika Das Biswas. Signing off for today. Stay tuned. Subscribe to this channel for amazing content. Bye bye.